Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is my review for Queen Sugar Season 3, Episode 3, and the name of this episode is Your Distant Destiny. This was a really good episode, and so much happened, so I'm going to try my best to really keep all of this together and not to make this too long. But if I do, bear with me, y'all, because a lot happened in this episode, and it was really good. Now, the first person I'm going to talk about is Charlie. We see that Charlie is still having some reservations about Micah going to public school. But we see that Micah finally attends public school. You know, we see him and Kiki walking the halls together. Of course, he's recognized because he's the son of Davis West. And we see that Kiki notices that they don't have the same classes together, and that maybe he can talk to his mom about changing his English class so they can have a class together. So Kiki is now happy that her boyfriend is now going to the same school as her. But I think down the line she may end up regretting it, because we definitely see that Micah is now coming into his own. We see that he's actually befriended the same group of kids who kneeled during the national anthem at the college game. And the girl, you know, I think her name is Kiara or something like that. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. We can definitely tell she's kind of grown. She's kind of grown like a liking to Micah. You know, much to you know, Kiki's, you know, chagrin, because you could tell Kiki was throwing, you know, that shade to Kiara, like, bitch, that's my man, hands off. And we also see that, you know, this group of young kids, they're very resistant to, you know, to injustice. You know, because when he went to go sit down and eat lunch with them, Kiki wanted to eat lunch with her friends, but she chose to stay there and eat lunch with him because, you know, this is Micah's first day. And we see that while they're sitting there talking, one of the guys is actually sitting on the table. The guard, who's a white guy, tells him to get up off the table and sit down. He stands up. And he's like, yeah, I'll get off the table, but I ain't sitting. But as soon as the damn guard walked away, he went right back and sat on the table. So they're pretty much a group of kids who are resistant towards authority. They're resistant towards injustice, and they're talking about making a stand and you know, doing and pretty much, you know, leading a movement. You know, they're the new young voices as to what Nova was talking about, you know, in episode 1. So, you know, while they're out and about, they're riding like this moped or whatever. Kiki takes it, you know, actually rides it first, and, you know, Kiara, an old girl Kiara was like, you know, if I got her name wrong, correct me in the comments. But Kiara was like, you know how to handle this? She's like, girl, I taught you, remember? Get in line, bitch. So she already can kind of tell she's trying to put on, you know, some flair for Micah, and Kiki ain't having that shit. But we're going to see how strong Kiki and Micah's relationship is going to last now that he's going to the same school as her. But we see while she was riding around, him and the crew actually got very close. They started talking, and they're like, why would someone leave like a prestigious school that you went to come to public school? And he was saying that, look, you know, here I feel I belong. I feel that I can connect to people. He said that my views and the way I'm thinking about things, I could never recruit anybody from the private school that I was going to. You know, I want to be around people that I can relate to and people that I can connect with, and I really feel connected here. I feel like I'm a part of you guys. So they start doing the videos like, yeah, we the resistance, baby. And I'm like, see, you know, this may come back later on, you know, and Charlie ain't gonna be happy about this shit at all. You know, due to the fact that, you know, this could actually land them, you know, into a lot of trouble because they're outspoken, because they're young people, and because they do not respond to authority. So You know, this is a great thing for Micah, that Micah is coming into his own. But then again, Charlie did say, anything happens, I'm pulling your ass out of there. So we're going to see how him being connected to these guys who are very militant and are very outspoken, how that's going to work out for him. Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Now I'm going to talk about Nova. Now, Nova, you know, as we saw in the last episode, has decided to quit her job, you know, at the Daily News. Well, there was some backlash with that because due to the fact that she quit her job when she was talking to the woman who was helping to set up her book deal, she lets her know off the bat that due to the fact that you quit the Daily News, you can't use any of the material that you did with them in your book. You know, since you're no longer affiliated with them, you can't use the actual articles that you wrote. So it's like, damn, you know, to take a big step forward just to get knocked back again was crazy. So now she has to start from scratch as far as a book idea, and she can't use none of the work that she did with the Daily News. So this really sets her back. And, you know, so now she's kind of stuck. And we see that on her, you know, on her board, there's a picture of Ida B. I'm sorry. On her board, there's a picture of Ida B. Wells. Now, for those who know who she is, that is I have to say Nova is somewhat of a carbon copy of who Ida B. Wells was. You know, she was an activist. She was a journalist. You know, she was the, you know, co-founder of the Memphis Free Press. She was also one of the co-founders of the NAACP. So this was a woman who was an activist, a woman that used her voice, and a woman who pretty much used her knowledge and her love of her people to create, you know, to pretty much create a trend where she was able to write about the things she wanted to write about and was able to tell truth to power. You know, and journalism is one gateway to do that, to tell truth to power and to tell truth to the people. So Ida B. Wells is her idol, and we understand this is why Nova is the way she is. She's a woman that is about her people. She's a woman that is about truth and realism, and she's a woman that puts it to the pen and creates masterpieces with her work. I mean, because it was her work with the Daily News that got her that book deal, because she's such a great journalist, just like Ida B. Wells was. So definitely I see the connection there. Now I'm going to talk about Ralph Angel right quick. Ralph Angel, he's got a job working at the docks, and he's working with this Asian family, and the mother, who's like his boss, she's telling him about his daughter. You should spend some time. I can cook for you, and you can meet my daughter. And because she had a daughter that was off to college. He works with her son, so he was saying that So she was like, you need to let me cook for you, and I know you need a mother for that boy, and it shows how close they are, because she can just be upfront with him, and Ralph Angel doesn't take offense to it. He's like, yeah, ma, I hear you, because they're kind of like his second family, and it's cool. So, but then we see that Ralph Angel got another girl that he messing with. Because I forgot to mention it in my previous reviews. Ralph Angel, like at the game in I think in the very first episode, after the game, he meets this girl who's like, oh, I see you ain't with Darla no more. Maybe you need somebody that to warm your side of the bed. Oh, but when old girl showed up at the house, he told her, oh, we ain't going inside. So he probably took her around in the back in the shed and banked her out and then sent her about her business. But she was obviously, we all know what she was there for, and she wasn't there for no cuddle time. So Ralph Angel just gave her what she wanted and sent her on the way. And I'm like, damn, girl, how can you be so thirsty to the point that you would let this dude would tell you ain't going inside. But she ain't care. She wanted to meet anyway, so it kind of lets you know what kind of chick she was. But then this other girl that he's talking to, you know, since he left Darla, he's kind of been playing the field, which he should. But this other girl, she's different. She's actually very classy. She conducts herself well, and she's very, you know, she knows what this is between her and Ralph Angel. Because she's like, look, we want to go in the car, you know, the kitchen. And he actually invites her in. So it's kind of funny that the one girl, he told her she ain't going inside, but he invites her in. And it's because of how the way she presents herself. She's very respectable. She respects herself. And she knows what this is. And she knows what this is. But, you know, she's like, you know, but the way she's conducting herself, Ralph Angel actually likes her. Well, let's just say he invites her in, and damn Blue wakes up and sees, you know, and sees her literally about to get undressed. And so I'm like, damn. So Blue done saw Ralph Angel getting down and dirty. Well, at least part of it. He definitely saw a woman that he didn't know up in the house. So, and the question is, what was going on with Blue that he woke up? We later on find out that Blue's been having wet dreams. And the thing is, I loved how Ralph Angel was very patient with him. You know, he didn't get upset with him, because we found out that's the reason why he woke up and saw that woman, was because he wet the bed. And there was another night he did the same thing. And then like, you know, Ralph Angel cleans him up and tells him he can sleep with him. Later on, that girl comes back, you know, because she texted him, but he never texted her back. So old girl just show up. I'm like, boo boo, unless you got a text back, your ass shouldn't have showed up at his doorstep. But he was real cool with it, because he actually likes her as a person. That other girl was just a thought. She, on the other hand, is a woman, but hey, she getting her groove on. So I wouldn't really define her as a hoe. I would just define her as a woman who's satisfying her needs. But when he came to her and told her that he couldn't kick it with her because, you know, Blue's up, and, you know, I'm gonna, you know, be here for my son. To see him turn down, you know, him getting some to be a father, actually impressed her. And she says, I feel the same way about my daughter. So you go ahead and, you know, you be a father to your son. I admire that. But she's like, but you're going to be thinking about this, though. And he kind of laughed. He's like, come on now. And they had a really cool demeanor. And I love that. And then we see later on, he actually meets, you know, his boss daughter, Trin, who was at college. And we actually see that, you know, Trin has kind of like a funny relationship with her little brother. And they were going back and forth. And she's working in the office. And we see that her and Ralph Angel had a connection. So it's interesting to see where this is going to go. And, you know, she knows about Blue. And, you know, he was like, oh, yeah, he in the car right there. She's like, oh, that's so adorable. They really have a cute back and forth, you know. So we're thinking that it may be something that may spark between him and Trin. So we just got to see what's going to happen with that. Now I'm going to talk about the whole situation that happened with the family. Then I'm going to talk about Hollywood and Vi, because Hollywood and Vi definitely had a special place for me in this episode. So pretty much we see also Ralph Angel is looking to hire somebody, you know, to work the farm with them. We see that he meets this guy, Benny, who was referred to him from his parole officer. Benny shows up late. And he's like, look, the bus schedule's crazy, so that's why I got here late. Ralph Angel's like, well, the bus is on time, so you need to work that out. And at first, you know, Ralph Angel, you know, gives him a tour, you know, of the farm or whatever. And the guy lets him know that, look, I know about hunting and I know about fishing. I really don't know much about farming. So Ralph Angel's like, okay, well, thank you for your time. But before he leaves, Benny says, you need to get a flapper for that exhaust. So he knows a little bit about cars too. So that struck Ralph Angel. And then we actually see that he goes to the High Yellow to meet with Nova, and he's telling Nova about the guy, and he's pretty much saying that he unprofessional, he came late, he wasn't all together, and he don't even know about this and don't know about that. And Nova had to remind him, well, at one point, you didn't know much about this. Like, when you started, when we started doing the farm, you didn't know much about farming. You didn't know much about, when you started working your first job. You just had, someone took a chance on you. So therefore, she kind of speaks to him and lets him know that, look, just like somebody gave you a chance, you need to give this man a chance as well. And don't be so quick to write him off just because he didn't come the way that you wanted him to come, or he didn't present himself the way you wanted him to present himself. Like, give him a chance, just like someone gave you a chance because you didn't have all your ducks in a row. So all of a sudden we see one of the farmers come in, and she's thanking, she's talking about, she's so great, she's so happy that Charlie, is stuck with Queen Sugar, and she's happy that she got the rates fixed for 5 years and all of that. So of course this rings an alarm with Nova, because she's like, wow, Charlie's doing a lot of great things with the farmers, and the Landrys ain't fucking with nobody. What the hell's going on? What did Charlie do that now she got the farmers on good terms and the Landrys ain't interfering? What happened? And she kind of presses Ralph Angel to tell, but then Ralph Angel kind of listens, no, like, look, Charlie's working out something with the Landrys, and this is why things have changed. So immediately this strikes a chord with Nova that, she's working with the damn Landrys and shit. So this explains everything. And we see that Charlie is being the face, and we see her talk to this family who lost their farm, and they said they couldn't farm with her anymore because the Landrys own their land. So here it is, she's still being the face of the black community, but yet she's attached to the Landrys her damn self. So she tells the family, don't worry about the, about breaking your contract, the fees and all of that. Don't even worry about any of that. I got you guys. But then she tells her to keep doing what she's doing. I mean, because at the end of the day, she did, fight for them to get that deal where their rates are fixed for the next 5 years. But then we see that damn Landry is still, in his own way, trying to literally rip the farmers off of their actual land. So they pretty much have like dinner or whatever, the family, Hollywood, Vi, Ralph Angel, Nova, Charlie, they all sitting at the table, and then Micah's there too. And immediately that damn Nova starts in on Charlie about her working with the Landrys. And Charlie lets them know that, yeah, I sold Queen Sugar to the Landrys, and I get my 1%, and I got my 1%, off of the deal. So immediately Nova, being the activist and being the strong-minded she is, she starts going in like, oh, so you just sold off of our family's legacy for 1%? Is that all that we're worth to you? And Charlie lets her know, like, no, I did this so I can get on the inside because I plan on taking them down. And she says that, and Nova's like, well, the game is rigged. You can't win this way. She's like, I ain't trying to win the game. I'm trying to demolish the game altogether. I'm like, okay, Charlie, I see you, baby. And she's like, I know what I'm doing. And Nova's like, you don't know shit. Like, at the end of the day, you really think that you doing this is honoring our father? And Charlie was like, I'm the only one that's fighting day by day to honor our father. And me taking them down and breaking down their whole business and their whole setup will be, me getting revenge for daddy. And she was like, these people killed our father, and you literally sold what we had for that 1%. Like, is this is how you running things now? You now breaking bread with the devil? So it was just like a really big fight. And then Hollywood even chimed in and was like, look, I was working this job and the Landrys was doing this contract and they was offering me a lot of money. But hey, even I'm not aboard alone, but I walked away from the Landrys. I ain't make no deals with them. And then Charlie was like, yeah, you're right. You're not aboard alone. And then that damn Vi was like, oh, bitch. First of all, Hollywood is just as much family as anybody at this table. So you need to show respect and listen when someone is trying to talk some sense into you. Because they're trying to let you know, bitch, this shit could go either way. Yeah, you took a risk, but this shit could backfire and y'all could lose it all. And Charlie's just to the point where she don't want to hear no more. She tells Micah to come. Micah stood there and did not move. And I was like, okay, Micah, I understand you feeling yourself and you have every right to be against your mother at this point. But bitch, if your mother tell your ass to come, you better move your ass. So I'm like, okay, but I'm glad that he stood up, letting her know that I'm not with you for this shit. And that this ain't cool. So we see after this, he ends up spending the night with Nova. Him and Nova have a conversation. Sorry about that, y'all. And, you know, he's saying that I can't believe that she would sell out like that. Of all the great things that our grandfather did, and how could she just sell that away and just work with the enemy like that after all the family is done and all of that. And Nova pretty much sets Micah straight that, look, me and your mother may have opposing views, but at the end of the day, your mother's a good woman. And your mother has accomplished more than most have in their lifetime. So you should be proud of your mother, not ashamed of her. And I'm like, I lived for Nova in that moment, because she's like, you're not going to choose sides. You're not going to choose me over your mom. At the end of the day, me and her have different ways of looking at things, but at the end of the day, she knows that Charlie is good. Charlie has a good heart, and she's not doing anything intentionally to hurt their dad or to hurt their legacy, but yet, playing the game you playing, you could lose. So we see later on that Micah does meet up with Charlie, and he says that, look, I don't agree with what you're doing, but I just want you to win. I want you to win, and I trust you. So that was good, because we saw after Charlie had that situation, after the family ripped her a new one, we saw her sit down with Ralph Angel, and she breaks down because she's like, am I doing right by Micah? Because the fact that Micah did not come with her really did something to her, because she's saying, am I really being a good role model to my son? And Ralph Angel assures her that yes, you are. What you're doing, you're trying to create a legacy for him, for Blue, for this whole family. You're literally putting yourself on the line to make things better for him later on in life. And she literally just, breaks down and cries. And I'm like, and I was glad that Ralph Angel was there for her. And that was real. Now, next thing I'm going to talk about is Hollywood and Vi. Because this scene gave me everything. Hollywood, we first see that Hollywood, he's got his money. He's decided to invest in a barbershop, and they're getting ready to go to his high school reunion, class of 93. And, of course we see that Vi is not very, she's kind of, on the edge about him spending this money and all of that, because she doesn't want the money to change what they have. But he ends up getting her this beautiful ring. Oh, trust. She started doing she started flexing the ring and everything. And I was like, okay, Vi. Yeah, so that was cute. But then she's adamant about him managing the money or whatever. So then we see they go to the high school reunion. Now this scene gave me everything, because fellas, ladies, this is how you defend the person you love. Because here they are at his high school reunion, him and Vi, they're talking to one of his classmates and his wife, and they just going back and forth or whatever. And then all of a sudden, this girl comes out, "Hey, ain't that my high school sweetheart? Yes!" And she just goes up. She hugs Hollywood, and she hugs him for a very long time. Now, remind you, Vi is standing right there when she's doing this shit. Then she goes talks to the other people that are there, the other people that were standing there, and literally pays Vi dust and doesn't say shit. So immediately Vi kind of gives that look to Hollywood like, "Yeah, I might be an older woman, but I will beat this bitch's ass." She was giving that kind of look like, "You better handle this bitch." And Vi knew what that look, and Hollywood knew what that look was, because he ended up giving her a kiss on the cheek, letting her know, "I got you, baby." So next we see that they're sitting at the table talking, you know, on Vi, Hollywood, and the couple. They're sitting down talking. This damn bitch comes back and decides to pull another stunt. And she talks to Vi and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was rude back there. I didn't mean to not introduce myself, but you're Hollywood's mother, right? Yeah, I remember we used to, pick him up from school and stuff like that. I was his high school sweetheart, and we were an item back then. My name is Charlene." I was looking like, "You disrespectful bitch." But Hollywood handled it like a G. He was like, "This is Violet, my fiance." And she's like, she's like, "Oh, it's okay, honey. I'm Violet Bordelon." And she's like, "Well, I didn't mean that. You don't look over the age of 25, girl." And Vi's looking like, "You fake ass bitch." And then all of a sudden, "Come and Talk to Me" by Jodeci came on, and she's like, "Oh yes, that was our jam back in the day. Come on, Hollywood, let's go out and dance for old time's sake." And he's like, "Oh no, I'm good. I got a future partner here with me. Come on, baby, let's go out and dance." And I was like, yes, that's what you do. And then Vi was so nice with it. She was like, "Nice meeting you, sweetie," and went out there to dance with Hollywood. And you could have bought her for a dime, a quarter, and a dollar, because her face was cracked. She ended up calling to the damn bartender to get her a drink. I'm like, "Yeah, bitch, you need to drink something with your thirsty, trifling ass." But yes, I was so here for that, because I'm like, that's how you defend somebody you love. You don't cave in to the person that's throwing themselves at you. You remember that this is the person that's riding with you. This is the person that you love and the person you care about. And you defend them. And he defended her without even being nasty. He just kind of let it be known, "No, this is Violet. This is my fiance. This is who I'm with. And I see what you doing, bitch. And I'm going to show you that you ain't got no power over here." That's how you defend someone you love. Whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're gay, whether you're trans, it doesn't matter. If you're in a relationship, that's how you defend the person you love. That's how you do it. So Hollywood and Vi, they did that. And I was so here for it. So another thing that actually stood out in this episode too was we see that, Ralph Angel actually takes Nova's advice to give Benny a chance. So he invites Benny back. They have a conversation. They actually start to connect a little bit. And he gives Benny an application and tells him, "Okay, fill out this application and be here on time." And that was a moving scene too, because here it is, a black man giving another black man a chance. And we definitely need more of that in our community, where we're actually giving each other opportunities to shine and to better ourselves. We all talk about, we have to come together. This is one way of doing that. When black people have a platform and they have the means, to pull up some of our own, to give them opportunities to better their lives, that's what you do. And we see that he gave Benny a chance, because he knows that Benny is very knowledgeable about, because we come to find out that he was lifting parts, and that's how he got caught up, this how he got caught up with the law and shit. So he's saying that, okay, he does have a skill. He does know something. He can kind of find something to put him to use. He's like, yeah, the work ain't going to be easy and the work ain't going to pay a lot. But it's still a foundation. And he's like, look, I ain't looking for no easy come up now. So he told him that, yeah, be here bright and early and don't be late. Hint, don't be late. And he's like, absolutely, boss. And they shook hands, and it was so powerful for me to see that. Two black men coming together on business, and that I'm going to give you a shot to make something of yourself. And we need that more in our communities. But the funny thing about it is that right after that happened, guess who decides to show up? That damn Darla. Because all of a sudden we see Blues outside, and all of a sudden we hear, Mommy! And he runs, and we see that the two of them are squared off. You got Darla with her hair blowing in the wind looking like a superhero, because Darla is a totally different person now. And we see that she has, you know, her look and everything has changed. And then we see Ralph Angel staring at her. So I'm like, here it is. The heads are coming together for Blue. And we also now know that, you know, that Ralph Angel is not Blue's biological father. So how is that going to cause a rift? Because now she's the only biological parent in this situation. If she chooses to take this to the courts, she can end up getting full custody of him. But then again, if they know her history, that may actually work the opposite too. So we don't know what's going to happen with the situation. We just know that we're in for a fight. Because the way the two of them were standing at each other, you know, Ralph Angel here, Darla here, you already kind of see that there was a VS kind of in the middle of them. Like, yeah, it's about to go down. And Blue obviously is attached to his mother. So how is that going to play out? So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear it from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social networks. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Queen Sugar. So until next time, everybody, take care.